Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 25. And let's welcome Amanda James.
Hello, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. I'm excellent.
Great.
So, when you were younger, did you have a diary?
Yeah, when I was like a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
like an angsty teenager, yeah.
Do you still have it?
I don't, thank God.
I was thinking I did too, like sporadically. I definitely wasn't somebody who wrote in it every day, but it did have a little lock on it,
hmm
and
Useless lock.
useless, absolutely. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, I wonder what it said in there because I don't have it either, but I'm so curious what I wrote about.
I know mine got me in trouble because
Oh,
mine did not have a lock on it.
okay,
Actually, I remember it pretty clearly. It was just a little, it was just like a little hardcover notebook.
yeah,
But I had covered the cover with pictures of me and my friends and
mm,
stupid stuff, labels off
yeah,
like beer bottles and stuff. I thought I was
right.
very cool. And I foolishly put all my secrets in there, and my mom found it and read it. So I do remember
Wow.
getting confronted about it.
Oh my
And I
God.
pulled the defensive card, like, how dare you read my private diary when it's talking about me doing all kinds of bad stuff a teenager shouldn't do.
Yeah, well, that's exactly how it should have gone too. Your mom should not have been reading your shit. So, it's definitely her fault.
It is, yes.
Yeah, she wouldn't have known it if she didn't read it. So, it's her fault.
Yeah, get out of my room, mom.
Yeah. So, as a couple of teenage girls, we wrote down some things in a little book, but so did a 36-year-old man named Lorne Armstrong. He wrote a diary as well. And so that's what we're going to be reading today, or we're going to start anyway. So this is going to be in two parts. And he started his diary when he went to jail. And in fact, the name of it was going to be Jailed, the Time and the Truth. And the reason why it had a title was because he was planning on publishing it, and he was going to do an expose on the American justice system. But as I was scrolling through and taking a brief look at what we're going to be talking about today, it's really just it reads like a diary of a young girl just talking trash about everyone else around him. So I think it's going to be pretty funny to go through the full transcript.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, I've always said Lauren is a teenage girl in a grown man's body. He really has the mind of a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's get started here. So this is gonna run the whole time that he's been incarcerated. So it starts in 2007 and goes through 2012. We don't have it dated here in the transcript that we have, so we're just going to read it through. This is going to read like a story, the story of a young man who's coming of age in jail.
Yeah, a coming of age prison story.
Yes. So it starts like this. It's about 2 p.m. right now, and I'm sitting on my bed writing another entry for this book. Then I'm going to write a letter to my mother. A couple of guys pled guilty to their charges. Vern pled guilty to his assault charge for 25 years. I think that's a bit ridiculous, but the whole American justice system is messed up, so it's to be expected. Vern's sentence is at 85%, and it's actually two charges that equal 25 years. He'll actually be doing about 22 years. Nate pled guilty to his charge. His is for writing a couple bad checks that totaled $8,000 and cashing them at a bank. He pled for 8 years at 20%. At least I think that's what he told me. Mike, the ex-cop that's in here for the same charge as me, is no longer in the cell below me. He got into another fight and was moved to a different cell again. I'm not sure where. The messed up thing is that he got into a fight because of his charge. He never even did anything to the guy. That's why I'll be talking about my charge at the end of this book and how it's wrong. Aaron has been careful about getting on my nerves lately. Vern has also. They can tell I'm stressed out and anxious to get out of here. They said they can tell when I start getting mad because a vein in my forehead starts sticking out more. Aaron and Vern have been running around doing retarded things tonight again. Vern had 2 servings of broccoli earlier for dinner and has been shitting his britches ever since. So what I thought was funny about this, number one, is that he's talking about this guy, Vern, who was sentenced to 25 years for 2 assault charges. Now, we don't know what those charges are. We don't know if they're of the sexual nature or if they're assault with a deadly weapon. I don't know, but that's a pretty hefty sentence. And it's so funny how at the end of this paragraph, he's talking about how they're being so careful about getting on his nerves. Somebody with an assault charge that's going to prison for 25 years seems like maybe wouldn't be the type of person who would give a shit about Lorne Armstrong and him getting mad.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with Lorne. He's real tough.
I know.
He's a real tough guy with his sexual assault charge or his attempted assault charge.
His attempted. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And we meet Aaron. Aaron, who was the main character of Taken Abroad. Yeah. And then, of course, Mike Patterson, that's the ex-cop that was in with the same charge as him. So he got into a fight because of his charge. And that's what I always think is an interesting part of Lorne's jail story, is that he doesn't really talk too much about how other people react to him. So, I mean, I would just imagine that they would have something to say.
Well, if they had something to say to Michael Patterson.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like they had to have done the same to Lorne, but he really doesn't talk about stuff like that.
He, in one of his prison letters, he did mention that he told a couple of, I think he kept it quite close to the chest or close to the vest, however the saying goes. But you know what I mean? I think he knew better than to tell a lot of people. He did say that he mentioned it to 2 of the guys in there. I can't remember their names, but they promised him that they would not spread that information around. And they agreed that that show was really messed up. And yeah, they felt really bad for him that he got caught up in that.
Wow.
So a couple of sympathizers. Yeah. I wonder what their charges were.
Probably something similar, I would imagine. I mean, I was thinking that Lorne was going to be in with people who were just like him, have sexual, sexual assault, crimes, all of that kind of stuff. But they do have somebody in here who wrote a couple of bad checks. So.
Yeah, maybe he was just in protective custody. And not everyone in there is a sex offender, but just needs to be in there for some reason. I think they might ask you when you get arrested or I think they might ask you if you want PC. And if you say you think you would be in danger in general population, they put you in protective custody. It might vary by prison. I don't know, but that could be why he could have been in a pod just with people who felt that their safety was an issue. It's funny though that he won't admit that, because I remember him being asked that by a catfish.
Yeah, I think he was asked a couple of times because it seems like he would have to be, but he makes it sound as if, no, nobody ever had a problem with me. Everyone was great.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know. You hear that in prisons, people with Lorne's kind of crimes are mistreated or bullied, and I'm sure in some prisons they are. I don't think that's as true as we might like to believe, though.
You don't think so?
I don't. I mean, like I said, it's going to vary from place to place. Um, but no, I think a lot of people have this idea that there's like prison justice, and people like Lauren are going to be dealt with in prison because everyone hates people who hurt children. The same with women's children, women's prisons. You know, there are a lot of women in there for hurting their kids,
Yeah.
for abuse or neglect, and they don't all get beat up and messed
Yeah.
with. So I think it's, you know, it's important to remember who's in prison. They're not, most of them probably don't have the strongest moral compass, you know, so.
That is true. That is true. But we did receive an email from
Oh.
someone who did spend some time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And the time that they spent in was for financial crime.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in more like a camp than they were in like a in they
Like a
were
low
in the
security.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And so they were in there during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and so the prison that they were associated with um, was in lockdown because of COVID, and so they had to go and make their food.
Oh.
And so when they did, he said that, wouldn't you know it, the sex offenders would have their meals missing and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I do think that to a certain degree that it does happen the way that we think that it does.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I think they're probably picked on, not picked on, but I think they're certainly the lowest on the social ladder
Yeah.
there. But I think a lot of people have an idea that people are going to get hurt, and just you know, somebody's going to walk in there, and all the big tough tattooed guys are going to say, "Oh, you hurt kids. Let's get them in the cell." And I'm sure that does happen.
Yeah.
But I think they probably just use it more to their advantage. Like you said, like, oh, let's take the sex offenders' food. Let's take the sex
Right.
offenders' commissary.
Yeah. So it's going to be, somebody that they can extort
Right.
pretty
Hmm.
easily. Yeah.
The weakest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I do like to imagine that everyone just hates them. So,
We all do. Yeah.
yeah.
You see that a lot on like YouTube mini documentaries or videos about people who do horrible things to children. People in the
Mm-hmm.
comments will say they'll get taken care of in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I don't think it always happens like that,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know it can happen though. I did hear, this is off topic of, well, it's off topic of Lauren certainly, but oh, I can't remember who, it was some couple who did something really bad
Mm-hmm.
to a child. It was a woman and a man, and they were, you know what, it might have been Michael Rafferty and Terry Lynn McClintock. They kidnapped a
Uh,
little girl,
yeah.
did horrible things to her, and killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it might be them, but they definitely got the prison justice. They had like boiling butter or oil poured on them.
Oh, wow.
They were beat up really, really badly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if that was because of their crime or just because they pissed off someone in the prison.
Sure. Yeah, it could be.
Hmm.
It could be. So let's see for Lauren. Now, basically, he's just complaining so far.
Hmm.
I haven't smelled anything that could even come close to smelling that bad since I was pumping out septic systems in Washington State. Aaron stuck his finger down the crack of his ass earlier, then smelled it to make sure it smelled like shit. Then he waited until Vern wasn't paying attention and stuck the same finger under Vern's nose. They've been going back and forth at trying to make each other smell their shitty fingers. That takes a lot of intelligence.
Oh, he's so superior, isn't he?
I know. I know
He's
he
so
is.
disgusted by this childish behavior.
I know. Aaron was in the shower earlier, and Vern stole his clothes. Aaron came running out of the shower naked to get his clothes from Vern. Terry and Gentry really enjoyed that. They both got to see Aaron naked. Eric and myself both pulled Aaron to the side today to try and let him know that he should start working out now, because if he's attracting that quote-unquote supposed only two gays in the cell right now, then it's going to be a lot worse in prison for him. I kind of think it's what he's wanting, though. Aaron's taking his case to trial in September. Nate came to talk to me one day earlier this week. He told me that out of everyone in the cell, I seemed to be the one that was the most honest and trustworthy. That made me feel good, because that's the type of person I've always tried to be.
Oh, good. It's good that Lorne felt good about his fellow inmate, the other prisoner, telling him he seems honest and trustworthy. That's high praise.
Not only that, but the most honest and trustworthy.
Yeah, he's such a hero. He's so popular.
Right, he's like the Fonz.
He is, yeah. If only those kids from middle school who kicked him out of their friend group when he quit playing basketball, if only they could see him in prison, how popular he was.
I know. They would be
cool
impressed.
Guy. They would.
Actually,
go ahead.
I was just thinking that I think he did run into people that he knew when he was at the jail this last time before he went to prison. I think that he knew a couple of guards or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that must have been pretty funny. They'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, you're back, huh?
Yeah. Armstrong. I remember you.
All the gay shit. It's so weird how he zeroes in on who's gay, who's looking at whose body. It's like, mind your own business. Who cares?
I know. Well, I was actually thinking that he may find Aaron to be a little on the attractive side.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it sounds like projection.
I think that it is. And because Aaron became the central character in his book.
That's right. He's talking about gay shit. He wrote a story about this man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
I also detect maybe a little bit of jealousy about Aaron and Vern, messing around. It sounds like they have some closeness. They're playing little pranks on each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're bored as fuck. They're just trying to pass the time.
Right.
Messing with each other in prison. And yeah, Lorne seems offended by it. I think it's probably because he's left out.
He wants to smell somebody's shitty fingers, and they won't let him.
I know. That reminds me of a conversation with Lorne on a certain catfish.
Uh-huh.
And Lorne asked, "Do you want to smell my fingers after I take a shit?" And the catfish said, "Yeah." And he said, the catfish said, like, does that gross you out? Or, what do you think of that? And he said, "No, you know what that tells me? It tells me that you love me."
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
And then it was brought up that she was going to smell another man's fingers. And Lorne said, "You fucking better not." Because that is the ultimate cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah.
Again, it's closeness. It shows me that you love me.
Oh my God.
It's so fucking weird.
So maybe he was telling the truth when he said that takes a lot of intelligence. He wasn't being sarcastic.
Right. Emotional intelligence to show how close you are.
Yes.
Yeah. What does intelligence have to do with it?
I don't know. It's one of his favorite phrases, though.
Yeah. It is. I think he got it from his mother. It sounds like a Mama Gwen phrase.
You think so?
Yeah. That takes a lot of intelligence. Stop and think about it.
Well, that makes sense then. So that voice of hers has been ringing in his ears ever since. Yeah.
Oh.
So let's see. Earlier in the week, my Mexican roommate Alberto was sitting on a picnic table watching his Spanish-speaking show, and Aaron quietly snuck up behind him and put his ass by Alberto's head and farted. Last night, Alberto did it back to Aaron and then laughed so hard about it that he pissed his pants. The deputies here at the jail have been having quite a time with people writing requests from this cell. Even I wrote one request letting them know about one guy in here that had been causing issues between everyone. That guy is the one we call Apostle Paul. He'd steal a gold wedding ring right off his dead mother's finger if he could get to it. Anyway, the deputies finally got tired of getting all the requests and basically told everyone to grow up. All I could think of was that it was about time they had said something. That's all everyone talked about this week to me, and I got so annoyed at hearing the same old thing over and over again. They sounded like a bunch of babies. That's about all there is to write about for now. I'll write more next weekend about the week's events.
So everybody's babies for bitching about Apostle Paul, but Lorne bitched about him too. He even wrote to the deputy.
Yeah.
So they all need to grow up and stop bitching, except for him. He can be in on it too. I think prison's probably a lot like middle school.
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Boys
exactly
farting on each other, and
yeah.
that takes a lot of intelligence.
I know. Smelling shitty fingers.
Yeah, farting on each other's heads.
Yeah. Stealing clothes so that people can watch them run out naked.
Yeah, it's like middle school boys in the locker room.
Yeah. What's funny too is that it says here he'd steal the gold wedding ring right off his dead mother's finger if he could get to it. Lorne did not think that himself.
No, I'm sure that's a phrase he picked up somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's really rich coming from Lorne, who took his mother's inheritance when her brother died. Mama Gwen is funding his prison stay.
Yeah, but
as we speak.
Well, but he stole the inheritance after he wrote this, though.
That is true. And he did buy her a freezer once.
Yeah, in like the 80s or something.
Yeah, so
yeah.
They do stuff for each other. She also funded his lawsuits. I know that comes after, or maybe during. Maybe it's happening around the same time as he's writing this. But it's really interesting that he's going to criticize other people from taking from their mothers when I'm sure he's got a letter to Mama Gwen going out at this very time asking her to send him money or buy him something.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I've got 11 more days until my final sentencing day for the feds. Then I have to finish with the state charge. I'm unsure right now of what I'm going to do. Take it to trial or plead guilty and get out of this hellhole. The only reason I'll plead guilty with the state charge is to get out of this hellhole. I'll only plead guilty under certain circumstances, too. What amazes me is that the law says that you can only be charged one time for a crime. So to get around that law, the state charges me with a crime naming it one thing, then the feds charged me with the same crime, but just gave it a different name. It's double jeopardy that is in a supposedly legal way. What I call it is a crock of shit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if the feds pick up a case, the state should automatically have to drop it. The only reason the state doesn't drop my case is because they want more money. That to me is sick, dishonest justice. What could they possibly getting more money for?
I don't know. Good question.
It's going to cost them money. It's all going to cost them money. It's costing them money to have him in jail. So it's so funny how he always thinks that money is the motivator. Everything always comes down to money. Whether that's you staying with a family member or having anything to do with a family member, it's all because of money. If he doesn't have a good relationship with his brothers and his sister, it's because of money. They're selfish and they just want to take from him. NBC only did the show because of money. People only take certain jobs because of money. Everything always has to do with money. So it's so weird that he's saying the only reason the state isn't dropping my case is because they want more money. For what?
For maybe he had to pay that like $100 fee. They're
true.
doing it for that. No, you're right. It costs an exorbitant amount of money to house criminals and take all this stuff to court. Yeah, how are they getting money? And everybody gets paid for a job. It's very irritating how he says basically NBC should have been doing it for free.
Yeah.
Because it was motivated by money. And the same thing with Perverted Justice. But Perverted Justice was a volunteer organization for a long time.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they were doing it for free for a long time. Then, of course, they got, they teamed up with NBC. It costs money to do those things, though.
Yeah.
People's time and work costs money.
And plus, when they were doing it as part of their volunteer stuff, they weren't doing stings. They were just sitting on the internet, and they were, they would eventually, tell them the truth, and say, this is what's going on, type of a thing. Knock it off. So when it got to the point of them going to the location, having their people there, Frog isn't going to do it for free, right?
Right. Yeah.
So in Dell, she had to work and she had to be a number of different characters during that. Her acting skills.
True. She did a great job too. People need to make a living though.
Right. But and Lorne is fine with that, certainly when it comes to him. But when it's for something that is getting him in trouble or he's envious of, or like this entire situation, he's so pissed off at the entire situation that everything that's involved with that is there simply because of money.
Right. Well, he just can't admit otherwise that the goal was to catch dangerous people, because that would imply that he's a dangerous person. So, yeah, in his mind, they forced guys to come there just so they would have something to air.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and it's funny, he'll admit that they did catch a couple of bad guys.
Yeah.
So it's okay they caught, but they need to focus on catching the real bad guys.
Yeah.
Not the ones like him, because there's a difference.
Clearly. Speaking of this, so it says, my charge is bullshit anyway, because the authorities had to talk me into doing the crime I did. And they only did so that they could make a television show. If I would have been in my right frame of mind at the time and not so vulnerable, they never would have been able to talk me into doing this disgusting crime. The same thing goes for a few other guys that got talked into doing the same crime. One guy was an ex-cop that his wife cheated on him, so he was separated and going through a divorce at the time. Another guy lost his job of over 20 years and had other problems. And another guy was suicidal and was grieving from the recent death of his brother. That's Walt Beaver Hunter.
Poor guy.
I know. It amazes me how the greed for money can possess a person or a group of people to be so dishonorable to talk other people into doing other crimes for the benefit of their own wallet. I guess that's enough about that right now. I'll talk more about my case at the end of the book and tell the reason I'm in this place. Right now, I've picked up another book to read to help me pass more time.
Yeah, everyone knows the cure for getting over a divorce or grieving your dead brother or losing your job. Those are all really traumatic things. And the cure is a little virgin.
Yeah.
Who could blame them? These guys had problems. They were sad. It's not their fault.
Sad. I know. Yeah.
And they were all really vulnerable.
They were very vulnerable, just like Lorne.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Far
Lorne.
more vulnerable than children.
I agree. Yeah.
Than those little seductresses with their female powers, talking
Yeah.
him in. It is so annoying how he says they talked him into a crime.
I know.
It it's almost like, how can you say that? He knows. He wrote the chat log. He read it. He lived it for a month.
Yeah.
See, think if he just says it enough times, it'll just be reality.
I think that's part of it. And I also think that he wants you to believe it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing for him is for you to believe it. It's for you to know, yeah, Lorne was going through a lot at the time. He's not that guy anymore. He never really wanted to do that. Look at how messy his life was. And if it hadn't been for his family, if it hadn't been for perverted justice, it never would have happened. None of this ever would have happened. He would have been living his honest life, the one that he always wanted.
He always has been the most honest, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though how he says, like, he thinks that gives him an out. If I were in my right state of mind, they never would have been able to talk me into that. So the fact that he was so out of control that, as he says, he wasn't in his right state of mind, that is more reason for him to be locked up. If any little problem in his life is going to cause him to spiral so far out of control that he'd be willing to commit a crime like that, then he's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we saw when we were going over his assignments as well. He was talking about how, well, if Cassie's having a dream.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yip, yip, yip.
It's cute.
It's distracting me. Talking about how, what it would take for him to not offend again. It's like, well, people have to not use me, and then I won't. So,
yeah, it's
well,
other people's fault.
Yeah, so it's other people's fault. And then therefore, it's not my fault if I do it. It's theirs.
Right. Other people are responsible for his bad actions.
Yeah. So obviously you're saying yourself that you're a dangerous person, that you don't have any control over the things you do.
Yeah.
Silly Lauren. Would you like to read the next page?
I would. Let me pull it up. One sec. Where is it? Okay.
It's the second page. It's Terry.
Yeah. Got it. Terry was in here earlier crying about his family and how they've mistreated him. This guy is a disgusting idiot. He was in prison once before for child molestation. I don't know if we can say that, but
okay.
And is in here now for having CP and videos on his computer. He's the 52-year-old gay that has a crush on the 22-year-old in here. He told me that when he gets in the shower, he was going to ask Aaron if he wants to come in with him and wash his back. He said if Aaron says no, then he's going to ask him if he wants to wash his front. That was disgusting. This guy is big and fat and a drone. His gut sticks way out in front of him. I kind of think sometimes that Aaron is gay, though. I just think he hasn't come out of the closet yet. We finally got rid of the Apostle Paul freak in the end. The guy is an idiot. We got another old guy in his place. Looked like he could pass for the Apostle Paul's brother. I don't know what his name is, but I guess it doesn't matter because he was only in here for a day. He didn't really look intelligent, though. We got another guy, and right after that guy left, a black guy. His name is Sean. I didn't know much about him yet, but he seems to be an all right person. I'm sure eventually I'll learn more about him. Gentry's happy to have him in here because he's black. Gentry was the only black person in here, and ironically, Gentry was the only one that ever mentioned it, except for Lorne, who's mentioning it right now.
You're right. Of course. So yeah,
Oh,
it's there's so much in here. First of all, someone going to him and crying about their family and how they mistreated him, and then he calls him a
disgusting.
disgusting idiot. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
probably is.
Yeah.
According to what it says that he was in there for.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. So he's just like Lorne. He's a
Just like
disgusting
Lorne.
idiot. Yeah.
The only difference is he's gay.
Right. And that is highly offensive to Lorne.
Hmm. That's what's
Highly.
most disgusting.
Yeah. So it says that he's 52 and he has a crush on the 22-year-old Erin, the hottie,
Hmm.
right? The one that Lorne thinks is hot.
And in the closet.
Yeah, in the
Aaron's a
in the
little gay.
closet, right? So he's talking about how they're the ages, right? Ages are so important to Lorne, and so of course, it to me, it's not appropriate for a 52-year-old to have a relationship or be interested or whatever you want to call it in a 22-year-old.
Hmm. I agree.
But he was 36 going after
Hmm.
a 13-year-old, which isn't that much more of an age difference.
Yeah, and then just recently he was in his 50s, engaged to what Jamie was, what, 24?
I think around that time, yeah, around that age, 24,
Ramona
25.
as well
Mm-hmm.
was in her early 20s. I mean, obviously that all happened post prison,
Mm-hmm.
but who does Lorne thinks he's better than this guy? He was going after people much younger. Molly was 15,
Yeah,
14. I
yeah,
mean, she was this man went after a teenager.
I know.
At least Aaron is an adult legally.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's funny that he's so he feels it's so important to mention that. Like
Hmm.
he's so disgusting. He has a crush on a 22-year-old.
It's so funny though. Look in the mirror.
I know.
The the parallels. I mean, they're the same person. He cries about his family mistreating him.
Yeah.
We know that's one of Lorne's greatest hits.
Hmm. But I think too that even though we can recognize that these two people are the same, right? Lauren's the
Hmm.
same as this Terry guy. But I think that Lorne is going to, again, feel superior because this person had already been in prison
Hmm.
for something similar. So, he's going to be like, yeah, you're disgusting. Look at you.
Yeah, he meant to do it.
He meant to do it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. And he's gay,
And he's gay. I think that
which is.
that's the most offensive thing. I
Hmm.
think that if this Terry person was talking about a 22-year-old woman,
Hmm.
or even younger than that, Lauren's not going to have a problem with that.
Hmm.
He definitely isn't because he can see himself in that guy.
Hmm.
Yeah. But he also did say he's big and fat and a drone, whatever that means. Is he like
Right.
hover around or something?
I know. I don't know what that means either.
Hmm.
Yeah, Aaron better start working out because he's getting a lot of attention from these guys, and he needs to be in better shape so he attracts them more. I mean, I understand Lauren saying get in shape so you can fight them off
Uh-huh.
because all gay men are predatory and
Yes.
they're all going to try to make you, which is what he really thinks.
It is what he thinks, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Aaron better get ready to fight them off. But like you said, I never even thought about that before. Lauren's talking about how everybody has a crush on Aaron. He wrote a book about him.
I know. I know. I think as a way of impressing him.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. Yeah, that. So think of from Aaron's perspective. You've got fat old Terry asking you if you want to wash his back. You got Alberto farting in his face, and this one stealing his clothes to watch him run around naked. And so all these dudes are giving him this attention, but Lorne is writing a novel about him.
I know.
which one seems the most interested,
I
the
know.
most invested in Aaron?
I know. I think it's Lorne.
I think so too. Yeah. These other guys just trying to get a peek.
Yeah,
Maybe just
exactly.
have a little fun in the shower, pass the time. They're in prison. What else are they going to do? Lauren is writing a book.
And I think too that Lorne is saying, you need to work out like me. You need to be strong like me. See, they don't mess around with me like that because I'm big
Hmm.
and strong.
That's not because you're hideous and they just don't.
They just don't, they're
They're
not
not
attracted to
attracted.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think
But
Lauren wanted to be like a mentor to Aaron?
yes,
Like he wanted Aaron to look up to him?
yes, he
Me too.
definitely did. Yeah. Even though he was like the puppy dog in the situation.
Hmm.
Erin, will you like me? I'm writing a book about you. Did you like it? Did you read all the pages yet?
I
What did
know.
you think?
So Aaron was Aaron in the service? And that's
I think so. Well, he doesn't really say that. He may say it further in here. I'm not sure.
mm,
But I do remember him saying that he wrote it based on someone in prison. So I do
yeah.
think, or in jail.
Hmm.
So I do think that it was this Aaron.
Yeah, it's just, and I mean, you can tell Lauren did not interview Aaron about his experiences.
No.
Um, yeah. Which again, it's like if you're gonna write a book about such a subject, Lauren has no personal knowledge of that.
Hmm.
He was never you know, in the service like on active duty in a war zone or anything. Talk to somebody who was.
Hmm. Yeah, and who knows what this Aaron person did,
Hmm.
you know?
Or what he made up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's go on to the next one.
Right now, Nate is in my room with me and my roommate. He is a disgusting guy. He used to weigh over 400 pounds and has lost over 200 pounds. He said he's bored right now and wants to eat because of boredom, and he doesn't like that. I told him to do some exercises to cure his boredom, but he didn't like that idea either. Eric and Vern came in before Nate did and asked me what I was writing. I told them I was writing in the book that I won't let anyone read except my family until it's done. I don't really think that the guys in here would appreciate reading how ignorant I think they are. So they can wait until I'm done with the book to read it. Then I won't be around. What a pussy.
He's saying they can hear all about it when I'm on the Today Show talking about how I'm on the New York Times bestsellers list.
Yeah, and when he's safe and he can't be beat by a bar
Yeah.
of soap and a tube sock.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That too.
I'm surprised today that Aaron and Vern haven't been doing their usual gay stuff. Vern has been playing around with some other guys and irritating them. For some reason, he can't seem to keep his hands to himself. He's one of those types of people, also, that lies about things to try to make himself look good, but it only makes him look like more of an idiot. Whenever we're watching the news and some place comes on in a certain location here in Kentucky, he always says that he lives 3 miles from that place. It's a good thing the White House isn't in Kentucky, or he'd live 3 miles from that too.
Oh man.
Good one. He also tries to make believe he knows what they're talking about on the news, and he'll say something before they do and make himself look stupid because the anchorman will say something to detest what Vern said.
Yeah, I don't
To
know what he was.
detest it, huh? The
Yeah.
guy is an irritating idiot, plain and simple.
Poor Lauren, surrounded by all these horrible people.
I know, what a little bitch. How wonderful would it be if they found this book and read
Oh yeah, it would be great.
it?
It would be great. Could you imagine Aaron and whoever Gentry, they take it from him and
Mhm. hold it up over his head.
Yeah, they're like throwing it back and like monkey in
Yeah.
the middle. And Lauren's like,
Yeah.
stop it, stop it. He's trying to
Yeah.
jump up, but he's too short.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna go run and tell the prison guard, they took my book.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It would be really funny if they actually did do that.
It would, because what would he say to get himself out of that one?
I don't know. I don't know.
I won't let anyone read it but my family.
Your
Oh no,
family doesn't
Lauren.
want to read it either.
I know. Please let us read your diary.
I know.
Like they give a shit.
I know.
It's also funny he's talking about how this dude is an idiot and just makes himself look stupid when he doesn't know the meaning of the word detest.
Yeah, I think that there was some type of a spelling because I see SP next to it. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever was transcribing wasn't sure maybe what the word was
Uh-huh.
that he was
Well, I'm
trying to
sure
say.
it
So,
wasn't the correct word.
right. And you know what's weird too? So he's talking about this Nate guy and he's saying he's disgusting. He used to weigh over 400 pounds and he lost over 200 pounds. I would say that's a pretty
Gross.
good thing. I mean,
I
right?
know. And he wants to eat due to boredom. I'm sure a lot of people do in prison. Mr.
Yeah.
Self-improvement over here.
I know. I know. He reads the Bible and he exercises.
And he learns about the law. He's not going to waste a minute in
No.
prison. He's going to spend all that time bettering himself. And look how
Hmm.
much better he came out.
His life is so much different now.
Hmm.
You know, you definitely couldn't say that his life would be better if he was in prison.
Definitely not.
You
Definitely
know.
not. He authored a best-selling book that sold one copy.
Hmm.
One copy.
Yeah.
No, maybe two. No, one. I think Nathaniel Trevor bought the one copy of Taken Abroad.
Hmm.
I think Nathaniel's book about Lorne sold more copies than Lorne's
I'm
book
sure
sold.
that it did. Yeah. I'm sure that it did. I know. Well, here's another example of something that Lauren didn't say. Somebody else said, and he wrote it down. It's a good thing the White House isn't in Kentucky, or he'd live 3 miles from that too.
Yeah.
Somebody else said that when they were talking
Hmm.
about him, for sure.
He thinks he's so clever.
I know. All right.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? Everyone in here is coming down with a cold, and Gentry's throwing a fit because he wants to see the nurse, and they haven't gotten him down there yet. I tried to tell him he's not special, and they'll get to him when they can. Lauren, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck are you?
Okay. So this person wants to go because they're not feeling well.
Hmm.
Lorne went to the nurse because he had a pimple on his ass.
I know. You went to the hospital.
He did do that too, yes. And he knew that he was allergic to antibiotic ointment. So what did he
Hmm.
do? He put antibiotic ointment on his ass and it got irritated. So he had to go to the infirmary for that.
He is a disgusting man. For an ass rash.
Yeah. Yeah, that he caused
Yeah.
from the pimple that he put the antibiotic stuff on.
But Gentry needs to be patient.
Yeah,
And Lauren's going to teach him. You're not special,
you're
dude.
not.
Don't expect special treatment.
Right.
He is such an irritating person. Imagine being sick and saying, "Oh, I wish," because no, in jails and prisons, I think it is quite notorious for being difficult to get seen by medical unless
Mm-hmm.
it's like an emergency.
Yeah.
And even then, maybe it's hard. But from what I understand, it does take a long time for,
Mm-hmm.
they're not rushing to get prisoners
Mm-hmm.
seen. They'll make you wait.
Right.
So I imagine that's very frustrating. You're feeling unwell and you need some ibuprofen or something because you have a splitting head. Who knows? And then you're just bitching about it, right? Like, oh, I wish they would hurry up and, calm me down. I need some medicine. And you have Lorne in your ear telling you, you're not special, which I doubt he said, first of all.
That's true.
I
That's
highly
true.
doubt he said that. Um, But Lauren's saying, well, they'll get to you when they can. Fuck you, Lauren. Like teacher's pet, you know? Like, oh,
Right.
they're busy over there, you know? They have other stuff to do. Shut your mouth. Nobody asked you.
I know.
He should have got smacked. He's lucky.
He's very lucky. Yeah. But again, like you said, he probably didn't say that.
No, he was spanking it. And that's good enough.
Yes.
He's going to put that in his little burn book to impress himself with how tough he is and
Right.
how mature he is compared to all the other, how superior he is.
I know. Like, look at me. I'm not complaining. They'll get to me when they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody else in here is a bunch of babies complaining about Apostle Paul, complaining about being sick.
No.
It's funny, actually, in one of Lorne's prison letters to his mother, he's complaining about being sick.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And complaining about like not being able to get a face mask from the prison staff to protect himself. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he's not special.
He is, though.
Yeah.
He's special. Gentry's not.
No.
Even though he's the only black guy in there.
Well, the second one, Sean, his roommate, is also black as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we had a dog attack.
That's okay.
Where did I leave off? Let's see. He's not special. From what I hear, oh no, I'm not there.
Herman's case, I think.
Herman's case went federal today. Go figure, though. The state is still holding on to it, even though the feds picked it up. From what I hear, Herman's first offer from the state is 40 years at 80%. I wish him luck. His ex-wife wants to kill him. Okay. He seems to be quite afraid of her, too. I'm sitting here right now waiting for a specific program to come on TV in 30 minutes, so I thought I'd catch up a little in this. Yesterday, Aaron and Verd made my mouth drop again. Really? What'd they do?
Was the Aaron naked?
I know, that sounds kind of dirty. I didn't think that it was possible, but it happened. They were both in my room talking to me, and then they started fooling around with each other, trying to hit each other in the nuts. Vern wrapped a thin laundry bag around his head so that it covered his mouth, and him and Aaron made out. Literally made out with each other with just a thin laundry bag between them. I almost puked. I told them that if they were going to do that disgusting crap, then they needed to do it some other place. God, that was gross. This fucking man he's like 40 years old.
Yeah.
He is a 13-year-old. They literally made out. Oh no.
I almost puked.
He was
Did
gagging.
you? Right, you were dry heaving.
You showed your penis to a child every day for a month.
Yeah, but a female.
That's true. Yeah, but the sight of two grown men playing around.
Yeah.
Is enough to make him vomit. Child predation is different, though.
Where are the guards?
They just don't give a fuck, I guess.
Why is all this shit happening? It just seems like a circus.
It seems like a middle school. Like the teacher
like
can't
a dorm.
keep their eye on everyone.
Yeah, yeah, like a dorm of middle school.
Aaron and Vern just sound like a couple of like kids, like young, college-age kids, just fucking around, just joking around. It's so funny that he is so offended by this playful. I mean, they probably weren't gay. They're just people who are comfortable enough with their sexuality. They're just joking around. But Lauren's like, it's fucking gay. It's disgusting.
Well, the thing is, too, is that they're probably aware of his reaction. So of course they're going to do it in front of him. Because it's funny.
They made his mouth drop open.
And drool.
Again, I think he's jealous of this
I think so
closeness.
too. I think that he is too. Yeah.
God. Um, and then the random part about um, the guy's wife wanting to kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. He's saying that they're getting these offers, for plea deals that are pretty hefty as
Hmm.
well. So, what did they do?
I know that's what he's talking about Herman and his case in 40 years, but we don't know who Herman is or what he did.
Yeah, exactly. His ex-wife
It's
wants to kill him. See, he seems quite afraid of her too.
Well, it's a good thing he's in prison for 40 years then.
Right. I mean, so what did he do that she wants to kill him over? Something like Lorne?
Probably, yeah. It's interesting how this whole book is just like brain vomit from Lorne's brain.
Yeah.
It's not written for other people to understand.
No, it isn't.
It's like when he said, oh, what did he say in here? Something about, I just had some time in between, blah, blah, blah. So I thought I'd catch up a bit in my book. Why do you have to write that?
I know. I know.
He did that in the prison letters too. When he's
Hmm.
writing to his mother, there was one part where he said, "Be right back. I gotta go take my turn taking a shower." Okay, now I'm back. You didn't have to do that.
I know.
She's not waiting for you. It's a letter.
Right. I know. He puts down every single thing. I think that he's looking for a word count
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Wow, look at this giant book that I wrote." You know. And it's just random thoughts
Mm-hmm.
that aren't connected in any way. Like you said, we don't know who any of these people are. This is not written in a way that can be published.
Yeah.
This is just a like a diary that, because if you're writing for yourself, and people certainly keep journals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it can be done for a lot of different reasons, whether you want to write down like specific things and try to work them out. And it sometimes helps get all of the thoughts that are in your head just out on paper or out on your computer, so that they're not as, you know, as confusing or creating anxiety, whatever it may be. And in those types of situations, just like here, if this was the purpose of this, then you wouldn't explain who people are. You would know. So if you're going to go back and read something, you would already know who Gentry is, who Aaron is, and you're not going to explain. But for everyone else, no one knows who any of these people are.
Right.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a book that is going to expose the corrupt nature of the justice system.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, this has nothing to do. And he's mentioned a couple of times. At the end, I'll tell you. So we have to read through all of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He does that too. It's like keep you hanging on, keep you here. There's a prize
Hmm.
at the end. The
Right.
whole point of the book.
Right. It's just like when he would get on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and the person would be like, "Okay, so what do you have to tell me? Why you wanna get off the phone so fast?"
Yeah, you got to do
Yeah.
sheetrock talk first,
Right.
or
Yeah.
talk about whatever bullshit. Listen to him talk to his fucking dogs, or
Yeah, it's just like a stream of consciousness.
mm-hmm.
Whatever's in his head, he's gonna say it, and that's what he wants to share, and that's exactly what he's writing down. Like every little thing. He's not
Mm-hmm.
talking about how he's feeling. I know obviously he's talking about how he's frustrated and it's all bullshit, but he's not talking about how he's feeling. What is it like in jail?
Mm-hmm.
You're just pointing at other people and saying what losers they are.
Yeah, he's just gossiping with himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gossiping. He
He's
loves
just
that.
talking shit. He does. He's just talking shit about his classmates. I mean, prison inmates. Um, to himself.
Mm-hmm. And with the rest of us, because whoever would buy this book would be reading all of this too.
That's what's funny. Like you said, if this was meant just for a diary, to give him something to do,
Mm-hmm.
just to get his thoughts out. I'm sure those guys were annoying. I'm sure it's really difficult to live with a bunch of criminals
Of
day in and
course.
day out.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to meet lots of disgusting people. I don't think I would write it down in a book where they could find it and beat my ass for it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I don't have as much intelligence as Lorne, apparently. But yeah, if the point was just for him to spit out everything in his head, his own diary, that would be one thing. But this was his big book that he
Yeah.
was working on to
Yeah.
publish. Like the general public is going to be interested in hearing about how Aaron and Vern made out with a laundry bag on their face.
Mm-hmm.
That's really going to expose the conditions and the unfair justice system and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hell he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on topic, Lauren.
I know. I know.
Okay. Oh, we get some more juicy gossip here.
Yeah.
I found out some other stuff yesterday that was also quite disgusting. Eric told me that John and Terry had sex with each other when they were roommates. That's why John and Nate switched rooms, and Nate is now Terry's roommate because Terry has been trying not to do gay things.
Okay.
Looks like he failed, though. Doesn't sound like he was, quote unquote, he was trying too hard to me. Last night, Eric and Vern almost got put in isolation because they kept kicking the door after lockdown. The guard said he knew who it was that was doing it, and if they did it again, he was going to put them in isolation. Eric is 37 and Vern is 27. Unfortunately, they both act like adolescents. Not adolescents, plural, but
Right. Yeah.
adolescent. Just like
Yeah.
innocence versus innocence. That was funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Eric is always trying to start shit between other people, and Vern is a follower. I guess it doesn't take much to figure out how stupid they both are. I was hoping they'd kick the door again last night, and so was everyone else, just to get rid of their dumbasses.
Who else?
Everybody else.
Everyone else. Everyone else was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, they were all telling Lauren too. They're all on the same team,
Yeah.
on the same page. They're dumbasses. It's funny. I'm sure you do learn lots of disgusting stuff about the people you live with in prison, the things, the crimes they committed to put themselves there. Maybe they hurt children. Maybe they hurt old people. Maybe they hurt animals. Maybe, who knows? All kinds of bad stuff, But Lauren, the disgusting thing he found out was that 2 adult consenting men had sex with each other.
Yes.
After they were trying not to do gay stuff.
Right. Right. Doesn't sound like he was trying too hard to me.
Mm.
I know.
Yeah, and then the guys almost got put into isolation. It sounds like a middle school.
Right.
Teacher saying, if you kick that door one more time, you're suspended.
Yeah.
You're not going out to recess. I've had it. I'm going to call your mother too.
And Lauren's over there going, ooh.
Yeah, Lauren's the little bitch teacher's pet. Who's like, yeah, I saw him kick the door. It's really disrupting me. I'm trying to do my schoolwork.
It's after lockdown. You're not supposed to be kicking the door.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. You're acting like adolescents.
I know.
An idiot. Okay, let's learn more about these disgusting idiots.
Okay.
It's about 4:30 a.m. right now, and I seem to be having a hard time getting back to sleep. So I thought I'd write about last night's events. After supper, I noticed that Terry was having a tough time standing up and focusing on things, so I filled out a medical request for him to see the nurse. They have him on some new medication, and I don't think it's agreeing with him. About 5 different people came to me to talk about James and the TV again. Who the fuck is James?
I don't know. Is that Travis Fowler? Is it his name James? I wonder if if that was him. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, I thought his name was James Fowler, or
Yeah.
that's what Lorne called him. Let's see, maybe he'll tell us. They're irritated and pissed off because he started doing the same thing all over again that we just got him to stop doing 2 weeks ago when it came to the TV. Eric made up a chart of the hours and the days that James has watched TV compared to everyone else. He was watching like 25 or 27 hours worth of TV per week. I can't understand how he can watch that much TV. This coming from the man who has Three's Company on, or Little House on the Prairie, constantly.
Yeah, just for the background noise, though.
I have a hard time sitting on these steel tables watching 1 hour of TV per day. Then why do you care?
Right, I know.
James almost got into a fight with me because he started saying stupid things to me. Then he almost got in a fight with Eric for the same reason. I called
Okay.
him out to.
I want to know what James was saying.
Yeah, well, Lauren's not going to tell us, of course.
No, but I want to know. See, that's the important stuff. He leaves it
He's so
out.
ridiculous. Why does he care? If he doesn't like watching TV, then why does it matter if Travis James sits in front of the TV all day?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's
I
just
know.
another thing that he can be judgmental about.
Mm-hmm. This guy watches so much TV. I'm better than that.
Yeah, I'm here writing a diary.
Mm-hmm. You're right, though. I want to know what he was saying.
I
He almost
know.
got in a fight over it, huh?
Yeah.
And then Lauren said, um, I called him out to the middle of the floor because he kept running his mouth. I hated to, but I was fed up with his ignorance about the TV. He wouldn't come out and fight me, though. After that, Eric swung at him and barely missed James's nose, but hit his hands. After leaving him alone for a few to think, he apologized to all of us, but I think that was just so we would let him watch TV on our TV days. I hate that everyone comes to me when they find something about someone they don't like. It irritates me to no end. They all need to grow up and stop acting so immature and stop trying to take advantage of each other. It doesn't take that much effort to be honest and fair.
And he put be honest and fair in capital letters. He underlined it, put it
Hmm.
in quotations, and with the two exclamation points.
It's very important to be
It's
honest and fair.
very important. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Lauren
It does
can't do
not.
it.
I know, I know.
But
He wants to, though.
he does want to. I mean, if
Yeah.
everyone else would, then he would,
Hmm.
you
But
know?
everyone comes to him. He's such a leader.
I know. I
Everyone looks up to
know.
him, and he's so tough. James wouldn't even fight him. James or Travis Fowler, if that's who we're talking about, is literally twice Lauren's height.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that he would have. I don't think he's scared of Lauren.
No, he's definitely not going to be scared of Lauren. No
Yeah.
one is.
He called him out to the middle of the room to fight. Why? So they can get thrown in the hole.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just imagine that, if Lauren's out there beating on his chest, come on, come
Come
on.
on, motherfucker. And then Travis Fowler says, "Hey, Lauren, fuck your mother." You
Yeah.
want to talk about my fucking mother? My mother means the world to me.
He's crying. There's spit flying out of his mouth.
Come here, motherfucker. Come here. And he's growling.
Yeah.
Grrr.
Exactly. He tries to lift up the table like he did during that
Mhm.
Roy fight, but he can't because it's bolted to the
Right,
ground.
it's bolted down.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, right. If
No
this is,
TV for a week.
I know. I know. God, what? It's such a silly thing. The TV.
Yeah, well, to some people, I think things that, of course, we take for granted, like the TV,
Yeah.
become really important in there. What else do you
Yeah.
have? So if it's important to Travis Fowler, and I'm not sticking up for this guy, whoever he is, I don't get, he's probably a piece of shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if it's important to him, but it's not important to Lorne, then shut up.
I know.
Who cares? Why is it worth bitching about? And it's because Lorne is a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an old bitch. An
Yeah.
old bitchy lady.
Yes.
I was trying to watch The Price is Right, and that James Fowler, he's on the TV 27 hours a day.
I know. He even when he says program, that's funny to me.
I know.
That's such an old woman thing to say. You know.
Yeah. My program's coming on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my turn to watch the TV.
Lorne only watches one day and he can hardly do that because he can't sit in the steel chair. He has other
No,
things to do.
he does, like, improve himself, improve his
Right.
mind and body.
Yeah.
He's not some lazy, fat, gay fuck like the rest of those guys. Disgusting.
I know. They're all ignorant and unintelligent.
They need to be more like him.
They do. They
Honest
really
and
do.
fair.
Yes. They need to not think that they're
Mature.
special either. They
Mm-hmm.
need to be patient.
It's true.
Wow.
Lorne has so much to teach them.
He really does.
Yeah, I bet he was the kind of guy. I bet he like talked to the CEOs in there like he was one of them.
I think he did.
Yeah, I bet he would like talk shit about the other or try to establish himself as superior. Um, it reminds me. I mean, I'm thinking of when he failed the polygraph for the little girl on the news.
Mhm.
And they said, Lorne, is anything bothering you? And he said, yeah, there's this little girl that comes on before the news and she's wearing a real short skirt. He thought that would make him look like a hero. Like, I'm like
Yes.
you.
Right.
We're on the same page here. We're both grossed out by naked kids, right? It really bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like the type who would try to put himself on their level. It's like when he called the police on Roy for drunk driving.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the phone with the cop and he can't just say, I'm afraid my brother's going to hurt himself. I hate to do it, but I need you to pick him up. That's all you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
He's like, he just had to go on and on about how superior. We've all been trying to help him. I made him spaghetti and I'm fucking sick of it. He has to make himself look superior.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you, police officer. I don't like it when people break the law.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I didn't
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
No.
Yeah, you can tell I don't belong in here. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's see what he has to say about Alberto. Alberto's run out of toilet paper again. He goes to the bathroom about 4 or 5 times a day. I asked Aaron if he had some toilet paper he could give to me and Alberto until Tuesday when they hand out more. He said he didn't have much left. Both me and Alberto know he was lying because we saw it sitting on his shelf. Not to mention that I was the one that got him one of the 2 extra rolls they had in the bathroom. Why are you giving this man extra toilet paper, Lorne?
He gave it to Aaron, right?
Yes, he did. His
Because Aaron's a good
boyfriend.
kid. Yeah, he wants Aaron to like him, so he's gonna give him toilet paper.
I said something to Aaron along with some other guys about not letting us have some toilet paper after we helped him out getting some commissary items when he didn't have any money. Ignorance pisses me off. The kid acted like he had paid for the toilet paper. Anyway, someone else gave me and Alberto more toilet paper. Me and Alberto lock our door an hour early every night, just so we can have an hour of no stupidity every day. Pretty sad to have to do that, but that's what you have to expect in a place like this. It's late in the day now. Actually, it's almost midnight. We're locked down right now. So I figured that I'd write in this and write a letter to my mother, then go to sleep and mail this out to her in the morning. Poor Alberto.
Wow, cool story.
I know, cool story.
I'm really glad he included that Alberto needed toilet paper because he goes to the bathroom 5 times a day. And Aaron said he didn't have any toilet paper, but they saw it.
Yeah, he had two
He
extra
lied.
rolls.
Yeah, he didn't even want to give them his toilet. That's ignorant.
That is ignorant. Yeah.
Just straight ignorance.
And after they helped him, which means that Lorne must have had his mother send Aaron money for a commissary.
Yeah, so I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
There was, again, in the prison letters, which are very interesting. If any of you have not heard them yet, they're on Patrick's channel.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how he had his mother send money for one of the other guys in there so he could buy commissary. And the guy wanted Lorne's mother's address so he could write to her.
Oh, God.
And Lorne was going to give it to him.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah. So he used his mom as a way to try to buy friends in prison.
Yeah. He wanted to give them his mom.
He literally did. He was going to give a convicted felon his mother's name and address.
Yeah.
So he could write to her.
Yeah. What interest would Gwen have in writing somebody that she doesn't know? She doesn't even want to write to her own son.
I know. And of course, this guy, he wants to write to her because he wants her to give him money.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And then what's going to happen when she likes this person more than Lorne? Because of course she's going to.
Well, that's going to be ignorant.
Yes. And the money that she would be giving Lorne is going to be cut in half at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to like that.
Yeah. And it's all going to be Lorne's fault. He does use his mother to buy people's affection.
He
and
does.
He let Sue borrow money from his mother.
I know.
A significant amount too. She had to get her vehicle fixed. That's not like $40 or, that's hundreds of dollars, I'm sure, maybe thousands.
Yeah.
But the fact that he would think it would be a good idea to give a convicted felon, maybe that dude was in prison for armed robbery, for robbing old people or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who knows? He's violent, sex offender, who knows? Here's my mother's address.
I know.
So when you get out of here, maybe you can go pay her a visit.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But in the meantime, you guys can be pen pals.
Yeah. I think it was Aaron.
I can't remember. I don't think it was Aaron.
Oh, really? It was somebody else?
I think so. I feel like I would have remembered if it was Aaron because we're familiar with Aaron.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check.
Okay.
But no, I think it might have been someone else. But it was a younger guy. Lorne's talking about him like he's a good kid.
Oh,
he just needs a mom. I mean, he didn't say that, but like that was the vibe.
You can hear him saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too the conversation about this toilet paper, it's the same thing with the TV. It's like there's so little that goes on there that becomes an event.
Yeah.
That becomes something to write down because, you think about what your day is. Your day is pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
So it becomes about toilet paper and TV.
Right. It's also funny how he said him and Alberto have to lock their door an hour earlier just so they don't have to deal with those immature children. You're in prison, Lorne. What kind of people do you think you're going to be surrounded by? Smart, responsible, well-behaved people?
No, I don't think he expects that, but he doesn't want to be a part of it because he doesn't really belong there. So he's different. Yeah. So he wants to be shut in with a person who uses a lot of toilet paper.
Right. Oh, and they don't have like a private bathroom. That toilet is just right in the middle of the
right
room.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. I wonder how Lorne dealt with that. Like, shitting and peeing in front of a dude. They might look at his penis because they're gay.
He probably sat down and tucked.
Oh, I bet he did. Well, that's kind of gay too, though.
I could maybe, yeah, they'd be like, why are you doing that?
I wonder if he like took his blanket and like wrapped it around, like held it up or wrapped it around himself or something. So made a little tent over himself
Oh,
on the
okay.
toilet.
Yeah.
These are the things we want to know.
I know. All right. It was a somewhat interesting day today. Oh, wait a second, guys. We have an interesting day.
Oh, I wonder what happened.
James started hogging the TV again today, so Eric said something to him. I was in the shower at the time. By the time I got out of the shower, the discussion still hadn't ceased. It actually became more stupid. But considering the two people that was arguing, it didn't surprise me. I stayed out of it and just observed. It was funny. Eric swung at James and just barely missed his nose. It scared James into shutting up. We basically solved the problem by moving James in with Aaron and John in with Herman. A little while later, I was turned back to Aaron and Herman and started to step up to sit at the picnic table, and Aaron smacked me in the ass with his new flip-flops that he just bought. Those things are hard rubber, and they hurt when someone hits you with them. I had just gotten Vern to not hit me with them again because he could see that it was really beginning to piss me off. Well, it pissed me off even more when Aaron hit me with them because he knows how much it took to pound it into Vern's head to stop hitting people with them. This is so funny because, of course, it's the famous flip-flop story. But also, are people just hitting things, hitting Lorne with things, like flip-flops on his ass? That's so funny.
Yeah, it gives them something to do. They're bored to death.
I know. Well, you can either get hit in the ass with a flip-flop or they can slap your balls. Which one do you want it to be?
Or they can kiss your face with a laundry bag. They can kiss your face,
that's right. Yeah.
Or they can fart on your head.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Aaron started running his mouth to me and got in my face. Dumb thing to do considering I'm bigger than he is. But some people just want to play the tough guy and run their mouth. I would have let him run his mouth, but the stupid thing that he did was touch my face with his finger, and that really pissed me off. After that, I grabbed him and threw him about 10 feet. The dumbass came back running his mouth again, so I grabbed both his feet and pulled them out from underneath him. I turned to walk away because I didn't want to hit him. He's the same age as my nephews, so it made me not want to hit him. Unfortunately, again, he started running his mouth again. I was going to let him run his mouth and not do anything until he cocked his arm back and hit my ear with his fist. Almost as soon as his fist hit my ear, I came back with a right and a left. He now has a welt on his back and a goose egg on his forehead. I walked away after that, and he kept his mouth shut. About 15 minutes later, we shook hands and started laughing about it because we were the last two guys in the cell that anyone expected would fight each other. That was only the second or third time I'd hit anyone in here. The first time, I broke the guy's nose and was happy about it. This time I felt bad, but at the same time, it was funny. That's all for this report.
That's all for this report. He's so tough. Like,
I know.
He's so tough. A right and a left. He like hit him with a combo.
Yeah.
And he broke some guy's nose. He's real cool. It's funny that he is admitting to crimes in this book.
I know. Yeah. I don't ever remember him talking about breaking somebody's nose.
Yeah, I wonder if he's lying to impress himself in his fucking book.
Well, yeah. I mean, so he's writing this, but he's writing this for everyone else, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Wants everyone to know. No one messed with him.
You do not mess with me. What's something that I just noticed was, I think this was Aaron, but it seems like the guys in there are really bad at fighting. Because they like miss.
I know. They missed James's face twice.
They like
And then
they got close, but didn't land it.
well, Lorne said he punched him in the ear.
I know. What the hell is going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, this must be the like special people pod. You know? Lorne thought he was tough because he was the special people. He's the smartest and toughest in the slow pod.
Oh. Oh my God. And maybe that's why nobody gets in trouble, because they're guards are like, fuck it.
They're just sitting back watching.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, they'll tire themselves out and go to bed.
I know. Then they'll shake hands and hug in a few minutes.
I know.
We was the last guys anyone thought would be fighting in here.
Oh my God.
Because we was so close. I know. How are they just throwing punches?
Right.
By the TV. There's no supervision. There's no guards.
I guess not.
There's no punishment for fighting. Because this was like a brawl. Lorne said he pulled his feet out from under him. He threw him 10 feet away.
Yeah. I know.
You did not.
I know. And then he came running back.
Yeah, right. So he threw him 10 feet away. He came running back. Lorne pulled his feet out from under him. He's saying, "Don't hit me with that fucking flip-flop." Aaron punched him in the ear. And then Lorne gets him with a right hook. And he's got a welt on his back. Lorne punched him in the back?
Yeah.
In the back and then the forehead. So did the left hit his back and the right hit his forehead?
Could have, yeah. It could have been something like that. That's what I mean.
What a liar.
What is going on here? I know.
And then they shook hands. And they're friends again.
Right. Right. And now Lorne is going to be able to rest easy that night, knowing that Aaron's not mad at him.
Mm-hmm. Well, because Lorne has a nephew his age, and he did have nieces Kayla's age, so that means something.
That is true. It did.
He feels paternal towards both of them.
Yeah.
In a sexual way. In a protective and sexual way.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it started off as him wanting to be the good guy, right? But then
the protector.
I have no idea what time it is right now. I'll have to wait for the guard to come. I don't know why that's a question. Around to find out. It took me a while to wake up after the lockdown, so that's why I don't know what time it is. Normally, I get right up and make my coffee right after he opens the door. For some reason, I was really tired tonight and didn't get up after lockdown. Not much anything special happened today or yesterday. I was going to go right back to bed after we ate breakfast, but I was too much awake at that time, so I stayed up. I shaved off my goatee and mustache this morning also. I have my final sentencing on Monday, so I wanted to have a clean face for it. Impressions are everything. And in this case, it can mean an additional 14 months of my life being incarcerated if the judge sticks with the agreed amount of the plea agreement instead of giving me the lowest amount possible. Which, giving me the lowest amount possible would be the smartest thing to do, considering I'm not and never was a threat to society. I'm doing time because the authorities talked me into doing a crime. And actually, I have to write a letter to the judge to read in my defense on Monday, so that I can try to get a lower sentence. So I'm going to go do that. Then I'll come back and write some more when I'm through. So again, just stream of consciousness. Whatever's in his head gets written down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, first of all, imagine Lorne with a goatee.
Yeah, and then imagine him thinking, I need to shave all this off so that the judge can see my full face and give me a lower sentence.
Yeah, that goatee, some scraggly facial hair is an additional 14 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that judge, if he was smart, he'd give Lorne the lowest sentence.
Mm-hmm.
If he was smart. The judge wasn't too smart, I guess.
I guess not. I mean, but you know what's funny though too is that it says if the judge sticks with the agreed amount of the plea agreement, the agreed amount. There wasn't just one side that agreed, right? There's another party that has to agree, and that is Mr. Lorne Armstrong. He agreed to that sentence.
I know, but he can probably write a letter to the judge and explain to him that he's only doing time because the authorities talked him into a crime.
Yeah.
And he's clean shaven.
I wonder if that's in the transcript.
Oh, the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to read that letter.
Yeah,
he wrote,
same.
if it exists. Yeah, I wonder if his lawyer like talked him out of it. He's like, no, you probably shouldn't do that. Just take the plea and shut your mouth.
Right. Yeah, take the plea that you agreed upon. What is this now of you not wanting to do that? Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then here it says, okay, I'm back now. So he did that here too.
Yeah.
He said his mom.
I know you were waiting for me. I'm back.
Yeah. A guard came through about 10 minutes ago and told me it was 1 a.m. Not as late as I thought it might be. I just finished writing a 2-page letter that I'm going to read to the judge at my final sentencing on Monday. Hopefully it'll help to bring some things to light and help to keep my sentence as low as possible. My time is getting shorter and shorter here at this jail, thank God. A person can only take so much ignorance, and heaven knows I've been around my share in this situation. At head count today, one of the guards that came in told Herman that he saw him on the news a couple of days ago. I have a strong feeling that he's got quite a load of charges on him. After the guard told Herman he saw him on the news, all Herman could do was look down and keep quiet as his face turned a very bright shade of red. The man looked like he was going to cry. To my relief, Eric didn't come in my room again today. I should say to my relief and to my roommate's relief. We both can't stand him. I still heard him say some stupid things when he was in the day room, and I was in my room. But that was to be expected because he only says ignorant things anyway. I've got a good feeling that that guy will never see the outside world again.
Who is Eric? And what did he say?
I know. What did he say? What are these ignorant things? I mean, is it something about him? Was he talking shit to Lorne from the other room?
I hope so.
I know. I do too. I do too. Didn't Lorne say that To Catch a Predator came on while he was in prison or in jail?
Oh, did he? That it came on the TV in there, or it aired while he was in there?
I think that it came on the TV in there.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I know. But I can't remember if I heard that myself or if that was just something that's been said, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah,
or I don't remember hearing it.
Because I was thinking when he was talking about this Herman guy, you know, about the cop seeing, or the guard seeing him on TV, and then he got pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I wonder how Lorne would feel. It's funny that the guy looked like he was going to cry and he turned red. How would you react, Lorne?
Yeah, how would you react having everyone watch you cry on TV?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
I know. That would be great. I didn't want to get in trouble with her parents.
Snot.
Snot. Like, oh my God, Chris Hansen had pictures of your dick and he showed them to you?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to fucking knock him out.
Yeah.
You were crying. You were crying. You were sobbing. I want to know why I was stupid to do that.
If I weren't sitting there in that recliner with my feet kicked up, with the heater on, and the vibrator on, then I would have gotten up and I would have kicked his ass.
I would have hit him with a left and then a right.
That's right.
I would have punched him in the back.
Exactly.
Or like he would have punched him in like the sternum because Chris is significantly taller.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. But that's what happens when you believe in hating someone. Just wait a second. Oh,
What?
that's weird. Okay. I thought we had missed something, but that's the next page that's here. So, where we left off, I've got a good feeling that that guy will never see the outside world again. So, he's talking about Eric. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens when you believe in hating someone just because of their color, the color of their skin. I call it ignorance at its best. I cannot understand how someone could hate someone else for being born. I can understand hating someone if they intentionally did something to harm you or a loved one in some way, but not for being born. That's just complete ignorance. Nobody has a choice about being born. So how can someone else justify the hatred for it?
Good
Eric,
point.
yeah.
Never thought
Eric's
of
the
that.
kind of person that you can stay as far away from as possible because you're afraid his stupidity could be contagious. Burn.
He's so clever. That
Yes.
was clever.
He thinks he's the coolest thing since ice cream. What a nerd.
I know.
And hardly anyone likes him in here because of his idiocy. I think even Vern might be coming around to seeing how stupid Eric is, surprisingly enough. Vern has spent a lot more time over here visiting me and Alberto in the last 2 days in what seemed like an attempt to get away from Eric. Nate has done the same thing too.
They like Lorne better than Eric.
They
He's
do.
more popular.
Yes. So now they're all starting to get away from Eric
Mm-hmm.
and move over and come hang out in Lauren's room.
And Lawrence Click. Yeah. This is
Yeah,
middle school.
I know. So
This
I
is
guess maybe what Eric was saying was maybe some racist things,
maybe. Yeah.
and that because yeah, it just seemed like that was misplaced because that's what happens when
Right,
you
because
know.
we don't know who Eric is or what he did or what he
Right.
said.
Yeah, we have no idea. He's just saying ignorant things. I mean, that can mean
Yeah.
anything.
Right.
Oh my
I
God.
know. It makes no sense. I do love how Lauren monologues about how racism isn't right, though.
True.
Like, anyone needs him. Like, wow, you're so enlightened. You're right. Nobody has a choice on being born. Why would you hate someone? That's ignorant.
You don't
That is
hate them for being born, you thank them,
exactly. You
right?
should if you love them. You thank them for being born.
Yeah.
Because even though they had no choice in being born, but thank you. He
But
just said
still,
that.
yeah.
But still, thank you for it. Thank you
Right.
for not dying in utero. I appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciated.
It's funny, though, that he says, why would you hate somebody just for the color of their skin when he proudly proclaims himself homophobic?
That is true, yeah. Yeah, he
So
certainly did. Well, he hates homophobes, though. Isn't that
that's
his
what it
reason
means.
for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what
hate
that means.
homophobes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, he only hates the gay men, like two females
Two
is
females,
fine.
fine. Right.
That's not that doesn't make him want to puke. I wonder if
Mm.
what if the women are like masculine though, sort of like masculine presenting women, because they're
I
gonna
would
look
assume.
like guys, and
Right.
guys kissing each other is gay and gross and makes him puke. So
Mm.
I think that there's some nuance to
Yeah.
the subject. But on the topic of racism, Lauren is enlightened.
Yes.
He's not ignorant like Eric. But those gay guys, those queers over there, they better keep their gay shit to themselves because it's fucking gross.
It's gross. I'm going to vomit everywhere
I'm gonna
if I
actually
see that.
puke.
Yeah. I'm going to actually puke. Exactly.
Because being gay is a choice, which he did say. I
Hmm.
will point out he was very drunk, but there was a conversation where I think one of the catfish was defending Dan, of course,
Okay. Hmm.
and Lauren was calling him gay slurs.
Yeah.
And I think it was Winnie. She got real mad at Lauren for calling him those names.
Yeah.
And Lauren said, well, I didn't choose his fucking way of life. That's his choice, not mine.
Right.
So you don't choose to be born black. You do choose to be gay, though.
Yeah. Well, apparently so.
Hmm.
Apparently so. So now he wants to talk about Vern. What does he say about Vern?
He said, Vern is another case that really has some issues. He has a big spot on his leg now that is all red and bumpy. At first, I told him he might be allergic to something, but then I thought about it more, and realized that we haven't had anything different to eat or used any different kind of soap and such since I've been here. He's allergic to tomatoes, but they cured that by avoiding giving him anything with tomatoes in or on it. Well, he showed me his irritated spot on his leg again today. Not because I asked to see it, that would be very gay,
True.
but because he wanted me to see it again. I told him that the nurse will probably have some cream that he can put on it and will help it. He said he's tried that already and it didn't help any. That was an ignorant thing to say because I knew he hasn't tried that yet. And he didn't even seen the nurse. Oh, he hadn't even seen the nurse about it yet. I decided to just go with the flow and nod my head at what he said because it doesn't do any good to argue with stupidity. But the whole time I realized that the reason he had that big irritated spot on his leg was because he had purposely been scratching it to make it look like something was wrong with him for the attention and so that he could try to get some more pills. It's sad that someone would need to go to such extent or that someone would go to such extents for attention and pills. You think the jail would see it as a sign of someone needing rehabilitation, but their solution is to give him some more pills when he gets in prison. Dumbasses. Does he think they're giving this man morphine for a rash on his leg? They probably gave him a Benadryl pill.
Right. Yeah.
He doing it for drugs. That's funny, though, considering Lorne did the same thing. He's probably got the idea from this guy.
He probably did. Yeah.
But again, cool story, Lorne.
I know. Who cares? I mean, so there's a bump on his leg that's red and bumpy. Did you maybe get bitten by something?
Does anybody in the whole world give a single fuck?
Right. I know. He's like, let me go down my checklist. So it's an allergy. We haven't had anything different to eat or anything to wash with.
Tomatoes, could it be the tomatoes?
Yeah, no, they fixed that because they're not giving that.
They cured it.
They cured it. I know. Who?
Detective Dr. Lorne over here.
I know. And he said Vern is another case that really has some issues. And this is what he's talking about.
He's got a mosquito bite and he's allergic to tomatoes. And he's fucking stupid because he lied. Lorne knows for a fact he hasn't seen the nurse. He knows that.
He knows.
How do you know that? And who cares? Who cares? Why is Vern telling Lorne? Does Vern think Lorne has some magic medication? Does he think Lorne can kiss it, make it better? Maybe. What is the point of any of this? I think it's funny, though, that he said Vern showed him the rash on his leg, not because Lorne asked to see it.
Right.
But because he wanted to show it to him.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Lorne doesn't want to see that man's leg.
No.
That's gay.
No, he doesn't want to see that.
Disgusting.
He was coming to Lorne because Lorne knows everything.
He is wise, yeah.
Yeah.
He is wise. He's wise enough to say, okay, let's rule out what it could be. It's not tomatoes. It's not the soap. I know. Go to the nurse. She probably has some cream.
And pills.
He's trying to get attention and pills for his mosquito bite. He should go to rehab.
He just
the jail.
Go to rehab, yeah.
Because I'm sure Vern is the only drug-seeking inmate.
Definitely.
I'm sure he's the only one.
Definitely. And they all fool them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get away with it because they all fool them. They have no idea that people are just pretending to get pills.
Yeah, Vern fooled them into giving him narcotic painkillers.
Yeah.
For his allergic reaction, for his little mosquito bite.
Right.
For pills. What pills? Not all pills are created equally.
Yeah.
Some pills are not worth going to the nurse for, dum-dum. Dumbasses.
But you're right. They would have just given him like a Benadryl or something if they thought that's what it was. And a nurse is going to have a better idea to say, yeah, that looks like an allergic thing. Or, hey, it looks like you've been scratching at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't do that anymore.
Right.
But he's clearly an addict because he wants Benadryl to stop itching.
I know. He needs rehab. He's trying to get pills.
know.
Stupid thing to say.
So the next one up is Nate. So what's going on with Nate?
Nate's been staying away from Eric more and more and hanging around with me and Alberto again. Oh, also, I think he's beginning to see how warped Eric is too. Nate is probably the only other one beside me and Alberto that is on the normal side. Gentry isn't too bad, and his roommate Sean doesn't seem too bad either. So that makes almost 50% of this cell that is somewhat normal. Probably the best percentage this cell has seen since I've been in here. That's sad, too. It won't be too much longer, and most of the people in this cell will be gone. Actually, within the next 2 months, it will all be changing again. And thank God, I will be one of them that will be leaving this hellhole. When I do leave here and go to wherever my destination spot is for my sentence, I think I'm going to end this book and start a different one. So I may not tell the reason I'm incarcerated until the end of that book. I'll have to think that over. Why?
Keep reading, everyone.
Seriously, why? So now we have to go through another burn book about the inmates at the prison?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll read it. I mean, okay.
I mean, certainly we would read it. Definitely. We want to hear random names and the random things that they do.
Yeah, Nate's been staying away from Eric, which is good because Nate's kind of normal and he likes Lorne best now. Again, Lorne is most popular.
Yeah.
And Nate, is losing some of his ignorance and stupidity and coming around to see that. Lorne's the one, Lorne and Alberto on the toilet.
Wouldn't it be funny when Lorne went to prison, they went to the same one? And they were all together again for years.
Hellhole.
You know.
Oh, something amazing's about to happen. Okay.
Yeah, what's that?
It's amazing to me the thoughts that are running through my head right now. I've been sitting here for the last 10 minutes, probably just staring into space and wondering. That's amazing. There must be a reason that God wanted me to be here and go through this.
Uh-oh.
I'm smart, honest, and caring enough to not normally do what I did to, quote unquote, get myself in here. Even on the road to committing the crime that got me in here, everything inside of me was telling me to turn around and go home, but something else inside me kept driving me to move forward. The only thing that I can think is that God must want me to go through this for a good reason. So because of that, and because of honesty and people should know the truth, I'm writing this book for God. I put that part in myself. I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation, pass time, and teach people that not all justice is honest justice. A lot of justice is play with somebody's life for the money kind of justice. Another reason the United States prison system is overcrowded. Another reason I'll be happy to be out of this place is because it's killing my knees.
Wait a second.
Why? That's okay.
What are you doing on your knees, Lauren?
I do everything I can to continuously get some exercise every day. But because of stretching so much, it's taken a bit of toll. I think he tried to say toll.
Yeah.
Like T-O, but he spelled Towle.
Towel-y.
He said that. Yeah, it's taken a bit of towel-y on my knees. Sometimes it doesn't pay to get older. Oh, I'm just an idiot. I was doing a lot of stretching though. Probably more than I should have at my age because I was able to put my leg up by my head with both of my legs completely straight. I think that may be the reason my right leg locked up on me and jammed my knee one day when I was playing basketball.
Oh my God. Was he doing any of this in front of Aaron?
I've stopped stretching for the last 2 weeks and my knees seem to very slowly be getting back to normal. I guess that's all for this entry.
Oh my God.
We start out with Lorne thinking of the deeper meaning of life. He's having God must want him. He's not there because he was preying on children for years at this point. It's because God wants him to go through this to make him
Yes.
a stronger person.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing, prison is really fucking with his knees because he's spending a lot of time on his knees, and he's now able to put both his legs up by his head. God wants him to be real flexible while he's in prison.
How is he doing that? Is he standing and then taking his leg and pulling it up?
He's lying, first of all. Like,
I don't want him to be lying. I want that to be true.
I know. Yeah, he's been stretching a lot so he can put one leg up by his head. Yeah, what is he doing? Wait, let me reread. This is a very funny visual. It's amazing to me the thoughts that are running through my head right now. He's thinking about God and putting his legs behind his head. I do everything I can, blah, blah, blah. Taking the towel on my knees. I was able to put my leg up by my head with both of my legs completely straight. So he's saying, I guess, I don't know, he's standing up completely straight without his knee bent, and he can put his leg up completely vertical, perfectly straight.
Yeah.
Which, like, contortionists.
Yeah, like somebody who's trained in ballet.
Yeah. Yeah, Lorne can do that.
Yeah.
He's got excellent form. This stream of consciousness was something else.
It was great. It was great. Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't pay to get older.
He's not even 40 years old at that point. Well, I don't think he is anyway. I'm not sure where he was at.
No. Yeah, I'm sure he was. This was before he was sentenced. So.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Jeez.
Oh, what a funny way to. I think a lot of people think that, like, oh, God wants me to. God knows I wouldn't do anything bad.
Yes, this was all a part of God's plan.
Yeah. It's
And
God's plan.
yeah, and I know that now. So I can see the good in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And because God wants this, I'm going to write this book.
Yes, and I'm going to dedicate it to God. And Michael.
Rest in peace, Michael. And Aaron, because he's real cute.
He's real cute. Yeah, and I really want him to like me.
I want to show him how I can put my leg up by my head.
Yeah.
Aaron, look what I can do.
Can any of the other boys do this?
Want me to teach you?
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's like looking right in his eyes. As he's doing.
Oh no.
But anyway, oh Jesus.
I just have this visual in my head of him standing there with his legs straight up in the air. Oh. Okay.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
And you know what's funny about that too is like, why is that hurting his knees?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's like, if that was true, first of all, that'd be like not the, what's the muscle in the back? That would be stretching.
The hamstring.
Is it the hamstring? Yeah.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the knees. The only reason his knees would be taking a towel is if he's like literally on his knees. What are you doing? Praying? Probably.
Oh, could be.
Probably just praying. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see what else there is. It's about 11:30 p.m. right now, and I'm trying to stay up all night again so that I can avoid the ignorance during the day. I tried to stay up all night last night, but failed because of boredom. I ended up going to bed at around 2 a.m. I slept a little today, so I'm hoping I'll be able to last all night or until 2 or 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. That's usually about the time that Eric and Vern, the two most ignorant people in the cell, wake up for the day. Today was mine and Alberto's day for the TV, and go figure. There was no arguing or fighting over it. Whenever it's someone else's day for TV, they always argue and fight over programs to watch and times of shows and stupid things like that. They all need to grow up. I keep telling them it's a television. The same shit's going to be on again and again and again. Stop arguing over something so stupid. They all agree with me. Then an hour later, they start arguing all over again. Morons.
Poor Lorne has to deal with such stupidity.
I know. They agree with him. They're like, Lorne, man, you're right.
You're right. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, thanks, Lorne. And then as soon as he leaves, they start fighting again.
Like children.
Yeah, because they're ignorant.
Yeah, they're like, this TV's not important. It's literally the only thing we have to do all day long, every day for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I know.
But you're right. Who cares?
Me, Nate, and Terry were the only three to go to rec today. It was outside, thank God. It was actually quite hot and humid, but I didn't care. It was good to get the fresh air. Of course, Terry had to be the 52-year-old baby that he is and start bitching about James and the television. I told him I really didn't care to hear about it. It gets old listening to the same old shit over and over again. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to at least lay down and take a nap for an hour or two tonight. I'm already feeling my eyes get tired. The longer I can stay awake, the better off I'll be. But at the same time, I don't want to make myself sick either.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that.
No.
It's funny, it gets tiring hearing about the same shit over and over again. We've heard about this fucking TV 14 times.
Yeah.
So we're tired of it too.
Yeah, we're irritated.
Give us something new. Stop talking about the TV, Lorne. Moron.
Exactly. Only 3 more days until my final sentencing for the feds. I'm hoping that I'll get the minimum amount of time possible. I honestly shouldn't even be going through all this bullshit, but I am. So I'm not going to dwell on it. I think he is going to dwell on it, though.
Yeah, I think this whole book is dwelling on it.
I'm just going to do my best to make sure that honest justice is at least brought out in the open and makes the public aware of the corruptness that got me in here to begin with. That's why this book is so important to me. After my final sentencing is done for the feds, I have to go to state court on the 7th or the 14th of July, either to plead guilty and get 7 years at 20 or make the decision to take it to trial. The only way I'll plead guilty if it's under my terms. If they don't accept, he's running it. If they don't accept my terms, then we'll go to trial. I should take it to trial anyway because the whole thing is wrong. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I just heated up my last cup of coffee that I have from this morning. The way that I heat it up is I put it in a Ziploc freezer baggie, zip it up tight, then run it under hot water until it gets hot enough to drink. Personally, I'd rather use a microwave, but unfortunately, one's not available to me right now, so compromise is good.
Cool.
Good for you. Good for you, Lorne.
That's really important that he told us how he heats up his bag of coffee.
Yes, his bag of coffee.
In the same entry where he's talking about his future.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Well, he doesn't really want to get too much into that because he'll tell us all about that at the end of his second book.
Yeah, that's the end. I think he is still trying to spin it in a way that makes him sound more sympathetic.
Yes.
How can he write? He just hasn't figured that part out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to take some time talking about his coffee and Vern and Eric and all that interesting stuff. I do love, though, how he is only going to plead guilty on his own terms.
I know. And it's so different from what actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he thinks he's running this. He has no
I know.
control
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever.
I
But he
know.
thinks that he does, or he's trying to at least say that he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is
Yeah.
him being tough guy over here.
Yeah, like they're scared of him taking it to trial.
Right. And the thing is, though, you didn't take it to trial. You didn't take it. You were the one who decided not to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
Yeah. Right, because he knew that he would be fucked.
He
The
knew,
evidence is
yes.
completely, solid. He could not talk his way out of it.
No. No, exactly. So, I love
On
that.
his terms.
Yeah. So now he's going to be talking about the commissary. Do you want to read that part?
Yes. The prices on commissary here are ridiculous. I pay 25 cents for each Ziploc freezer bag. It usually only lasts me a couple weeks before it gets a little hole in it. Then I have to buy another one. Little Debbie snack cakes with 12 cakes per box cost $4. On the street, they would cost around $2. A box of saltine crackers on the street costs $1.50 at the most. In here, they cost $2.90. For ibuprofen, Tylenol, or aspirin, they charge 35 cents in here for a little packet with two 200 milligram tablets. They basically double the price from what you'd pay on the streets. It's pathetic and greedy and unjustifiable, in my opinion. Not to mention, it should be illegal to charge people $25 a day to be in jail, but they do. And go figure that here in the messed up state of Kentucky, it's legal. Don't commit a crime, you shitbag.
Right.
I mean, those prices are very, especially for, 25 cents a Ziploc bag. That's a lot. But, I mean, he's also not taking into consideration the cost the amount of money it takes to house these inmates.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
never had to pay that $25 a day.
No.
He couldn't.
No, there's no way that he could. No.
Yeah, that's just another consequence of being in jail. It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Don't go to jail, or you're going to have to spend 25 cents per Ziploc bag. I don't know what to tell you.
Where else can you live for $25 a day? Where you get fed, you have a place to, you get housed.
Yeah, TV.
You get TV. You get a rec area outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where else do you have that?
Yeah, but they should be paying him to live there because he didn't even do anything wrong. It's all about money. See, that's why they want him in jail, for that $25 a day that he never paid.
Right, exactly. And for the $4 Little Debbie snack cake boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody pays that $25 a day. I'm sure all of them are like deemed indigent or whatever.
Yeah, mostly.
Right? And
yeah.
So nobody profits from that.
No.
So dumb.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's costing everyone else money to have you be there.
Mm-hmm.
So freaking pay for your shit, man.
Yeah, or go without.
Exactly.
Or don't commit a horrendous crime.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those are your options.
Mm-hmm.
So now it sounds like Eric's not too happy. So what's going on there?
Oh, no. I have the feeling that Eric isn't too happy right now. He has to spend the whole weekend drawing pictures for my little rhyming children's book that I wrote, because I need to send it out with a lot of other things to my mother, and there's about 30 pages in it. He has to draw pictures on every page, including for the cover on front. He won't be able to be out of his room much to run his mouth because of it. That's a major plus. He tried to start shit tonight at lockdown. He waited until everyone was locked down in their rooms and then came over and asked me if he should turn the shower on and leave it so that everyone would lose the television tomorrow. I told him I thought he was ignorant. He left the shower alone and went to his room and locked down after seeing that I wasn't impressed by his idiocy. The sooner that asshole leaves, the better off this place will be. The same goes for Vern. He's just as much of a moron, just in different ways. To be quite honest, I cannot see how his underwear is not all shit stained. He farts so much and with such an oops, I think there were chunks in that one kind of sound to it. I have a feeling that he does a lot of scrubbing on them. Nasty bastard he is. The sad part is that he thinks it's funny. The more it stinks, the harder he laughs. Shows a real sign of intelligence there. It's a dumbass.
Oh my God, Lauren. Relax.
So Eric, I know, calm down. Why are you so concerned about another man's underwear?
Yeah.
Don't worry. So Eric is the white supremacist that
Yes.
Lauren chose to illustrate his children's book.
I just put that together with the ignorant stuff that he was talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, so that's the white supremacist.
Okay. Why would you enlist a white supremacist to do the illustrate? A white supremacist and a sex offender writing a children's book.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know.
That's good. That's going to be a bestseller.
And I wonder what he said to have this person draw 30 pictures.
I know. I don't know. Maybe they were going to sell the book and make a bunch of money.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, is he saying, you know, you'll get some of the profit, you know, like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what that conversation was. Because, I mean, Eric could just be like, fuck off. I'm not drawing all that.
Yeah, 30 pages. I know.
Yeah. There's nothing in this for me. Why do I care? And furthermore, why are you writing a children's book, you sicko?
That's what is very strange to me. And how do you lack self-awareness to such an extent that you would think that parents want a book on their child's bookshelf that was written by a child predator who's in prison for that crime, and a white supremacist who's in, you know, assuming he's in prison for those crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why write a children's book?
You know.
I think it's because that's where his level of intelligence lies. He can write about a kitten who lost his mother, but anything more, I mean, we saw in Taken Abroad what he's capable of.
Right. Yeah. I got lucky on Thursday when I went to the gym. I found over half a roll of toilet paper in the bathroom, so I hid it inside my coveralls and brought it back with me. Fortunately, my roommate, Alberto, hasn't gone through it all yet. I think he's being careful with it now because we don't get more until Tuesday. I still have a whole roll left, but I wouldn't have found that half a roll. We'd end up borrowing someone else's toilet paper or using paper towels till Tuesday. I've never seen anyone who has to shit as much as him. Then he stays in the bathroom for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. Aaron peeked over the curtain a couple of times by standing on something and looking in to see what Albert was doing. He said he was just sitting there pulling on the end of his penis. I kind of had a hard time believing that, though. I don't really think Aaron is the most honest preacher in the church. Look at Lorne with all of his creative
little idioms or
whatever.
They're
called. Exactly.
Yeah. Most honest preacher in the church. Why is that hard to believe?
Yeah, I mean, where else is Alberto going to tug on his penis?
There has been so much talk about shit in this book so far. He is so interested in other people shitting and farting and their toilet paper usage.
Yeah.
There's just such a focus on toilet paper.
Oh my God, that is funny.
And so what if he's pulling on at the end of his penis? Leave him alone.
At least he's not doing it in front of you.
That's what I was going to say. At least he's in the shower, the only place he has some modicum of privacy. Leave Alberto alone.
I know.
The man has irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
It's not his fault.
I know. All right, so it says, well, I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes or so, and I haven't written a thing. I thought about laying down and reading a book that I'm in the middle of, but I'm afraid it'll put me to sleep. Also, the fact that I don't really feel like reading it right now. Okay.
Okay, cool.
It hasn't really grabbed my attention as much as the previous 2 books that I've read. They were good stories, and it was hard to put them down. A large reason was due to the chapters being so short. It was easy to say, oh, this chapter is just 2 or 3 pages long, so I'll read this chapter and then stop for a bit! Exclamation point for some reason. I thought that was funny.
That's what he said to himself. Oh!
I know. Before you know it, you're almost done with the book, so you just keep going and finish it. Funny how it's easy to continue reading when the chapters are really short. It's also funny how I enjoy reading now when I never used to when I was growing up. Even when we got an assignment to read a book, I still never read it. Well, there's a shocker.
I know.
Cliff's Notes come in handy. You couldn't even read those, Lorne.
Seriously.
I had too many other things I wanted to do when I got home from school that topped the priority list and made it so that reading was way down the bottom. Actually, to be quite honest, homework was way down on the list for me too, until my mother realized I had homework to do. Then I had no choice.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks for telling us that.
Okay.
Funny how I enjoy reading when I'm incarcerated and there's literally nothing else to do. Yeah, you and the rest of the world. And then when he got out of prison, did he continue this love for reading?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think he has he has all kinds of shit in that trailer. Anything you could imagine, he's got it, except a book.
Yeah. You're not going to find War and Peace on his nightstand.
Nope. You're definitely not.
Only books that have 2 or 3 pages to a chapter.
Yeah, it's funny how it's so easy to read books when the chapters are 2 pages long. Because you can say to yourself, oh, it's just a couple of pages. I'll just read for a bit. Is that what he says?
Yeah. And he also, he like has his finger like pointed.
Oh, yes. Oh, I just realized. Eureka.
Oh my God.
Only a couple of pages.
That's so funny.
It's so funny how that happened. It's also funny how I was a moron in high school. But it's not because he was stupid. It was because he had better things to do.
He did.
Until his mother told him.
Yeah. And Cliff's Notes do not come in handy. They will definitely get you into trouble. I remember those. Yeah. I remember those used to get people. Yeah. People used to get in trouble for using those all the time because they miss major parts, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why he was 87 out of 87.
That's true. That's true. By the sounds of it, I'm not the only one staying up tonight. I just heard someone flush their toilet. Okay. And I heard a little talking too. I thought about saying something to find out who it is until I thought about it more and realized that I'd have to hear their voices. That turned me off on saying anything at all to them. The guard just came through on his rounds, and I asked him what time it was. He told me 1:45. He didn't look like he was any more than 19 or 20 years at the most. I bet he enjoys this job. It's about the most boring job anyone could have. That must be why they have such a high turnover rate. I guess I've written enough for tonight. I think I'll read.
This book is so important.
Okay.
This book is so important for people to read, to understand what it is really going on. in there.
Can you see now why the American justice system is such a mess?
I think I'm getting a good idea of it.
Yeah.
Somebody just flushed their toilet.
And I wanted to ask who it was, but then I didn't want to because I'd have to hear them talking, and that turned me right off.
What? Hey, who just flushed their toilet? Who was that? Shut up. No, stop talking to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to hear your voice.
Oh, my God. It's about 12:15 a.m. right now. I just finished writing a letter to my mother, so I figured I'd write another entry in my book before I send all my stuff out in my envelope in the morning. I have my final sentencing in the morning, so I'm hoping that the judge will give me the least amount of time possible. There's really no reason why he shouldn't, because I don't have a prior criminal record. I'm sure I'll have to write another entry tomorrow night just to tell you about what I received for time. If I don't write tomorrow night, then I'll put it in my next entry. Not a lot really happened here today. I tried to get some sleep so I could stay up later tonight, but I only succeeded in getting about an hour and a half because I was deep in thought about my final sentencing tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I have to stay up late enough, though, at least to get my big envelope ready to be sent off in the morning. I'm sending everything that I need to send back that's of value to me and that I need to keep. I also have to send back the rhyming children's book that I wrote that I'm having Eric draw the pictures to. He's not putting a whole lot of effort into these pictures in this book, I can tell. So I'll probably end up having someone else draw them over again. He drew one in there of a goat that has satanic horns on it. I won't have time in the morning to fix it before I send it out, so I asked my mother in a letter I wrote to erase the horns. Oh my God. Eric is such a loser. Sometimes just the way that he looks at me makes me want to deck him and then tell him to turn his evil-looking face in a different direction. Not much longer, and I won't have to deal with the idiot anyway. Funny. Right now, my roommate is sitting across from me picking his nose. I have my head down writing, so he doesn't think I can see him. Ha! He can't read English either, so I can write about him and he doesn't know what it says. I know, especially when he'd have to read it upside down. He stopped picking his nose now. Now he's picking at the skin on his stomach. I guess that's all I'm going to write tonight because I'm tired and I still have to do stuff to send. I still have to do up stuff to send out in the morning. Besides that, I'm a little tired too.
Just said that.
Yes, you told everyone you're tired, Lorne. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Eric's such a loser, and he's drawing satanic horns on goats in your children's book.
I know.
Is he still trusted to do that job?
Well, how do you know that they're satanic horns?
Oh, that's true. Goats have horns.
Goats have horns, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they were drawn in a certain way. I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, what, you know.
Yeah, but you're right.
Sure.
Goats have horns. Did Lorne forget that? And he's like, that's the fucking devil.
Could have been. Mom, I'm going to have you erase those, okay?
Guy's a loser, Mom.
I don't want devil horns in my children's book.
Yeah, then how about you grow some balls and tell Eric that, Lord?
Oh, good point. Are you calling him out?
I am. Calling him out to the middle of the room. We're gonna fight.
Exactly. You're going to hit him in the ear.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's where we're going to end it for this. Everyone's going to have to wait to see what he has to say next.
Yep. Just like we had to wait to hear about Lorne's crime until the end of his second book.
Exactly. Oh, my God. This thing.
I know. So what are your thoughts so far?
My thoughts are, well, like we said before, this reads exactly like a middle school girl's diary.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, Dear Diary, Today, Amanda James came to school thinking she looked so fetch. And it's all because she got that necklace from Claire's that I wanted. That's the only reason why she got it, that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we had gym class, I went back to the locker room a couple of minutes early and I stole it. When she came in and saw that it was gone, she was really sad and she was crying. So I helped her look for it because we're best friends. We didn't look in my back pocket though. Anyway, TTYL.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm feeling kind of tired now. I just poured a glass of milk. Can you believe my brother tried to drink the last of it? He's ignorant. Oh, and you forgot about the part where all the other girls at school agree with you that Amanda James is a bitch for getting that necklace from Claire's that says Foxy on it. Because you were going to get it first.
Do you want to tell everybody about that?
I think I just did. I had maybe a middle school Amanda James had a necklace that said Foxy on it. I was cool. I was the most popular, just like Lorne's the most popular guy in jail. I was the most popular girl in school.
Yeah, you were Regina George of your middle school.
Everyone liked me best.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I wish I still had that necklace.
Well,
it's vintage now.
Yes, it would be vintage. Yeah.
It would.
But that's how it reads. This whole thing. Mm-hmm. This whole thing is just calling people idiots and morons, mm-hmm. talking about the stupid things that they do. He mm-hmm. doesn't talk about himself.
Nope.
At all. It's just what he has to go through.
It's just the other criminals in there. There's no talk about the corruption of the system. The most we got was they charged me $4 for Little Debbie's.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the book is to expose jailed, the truth in time or something.
Yeah.
It's to expose this corrupt system.
Right.
That imprisons people for money.
Yeah.
And all we've heard about is racists and child molesters farting on each other and shoving their fingers down their ass and then in their faces.
Well, we did learn that Lorne could put his...
That is an important part of the book, too. The public needs to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's a flexible man.
He is, in front of Aaron.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
This is very funny. This might be one of the funniest things Lorne's ever read.
I know. It's so bad. I mean, like we said before, how can this be intended for other people to read?
I know. Yeah.
If he wants to tell the story, if he truly wanted to write a story about his time in jail, which nobody would be interested anyway. He's not a POW.
Right.
He's not
just a criminal.
Yeah, he's not climbing Everest. Like, he's not doing something, he's not in Antarctica, documenting his time there. Like, he's in Warren County Jail.
Right. With a bunch of meth heads and, just petty criminals.
Yeah, exactly. So he's spending his time there. And the thing is that he's not explaining any of these people. He's not saying what they did. Mm-hmm. He's not talking about them in any way,
Nor is he explaining how he got there.
Exactly.
Which you would think would be step one.
Right.
Explaining what happened to get you there. I don't know, talking about the intake process.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. It's just Aaron and Vern and this one and that one and the TV and the toilet paper. It's just the mundane daily details that nobody cares about.
Right. Yeah,
The
exactly.
most uninteresting parts of that time of his life. And I understand that part was, I mean, that was his life.
Yeah.
Toilet paper and TV
Yeah.
and 25-cent Ziploc bags.
Mm.
But nobody else is going to want to read that.
Right. It's not going to mean anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even interesting. Like, it's funny to us,
Right.
you know, but nobody else knows Lorne Armstrong,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to care.
I know. I think it's funny too that he's holding off um, explaining what got him there till the end.
Right. He should start that at the beginning. He
That
should
is
be
literally
like,
the beginning.
yeah, and he would have so much to say. I'm really pissed off. That's how it could
Mm-hmm.
start off. You know, I'm so angry that I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Explain why. No, instead he just vaguely says, if I was in my right state of mind, they never would have talked me into it. Talked you into what? What happened? The reader doesn't know.
yeah. No, that's also true too. They don't know what his crime is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the biggest thing on NBC.
That's true. People probably would know.
Yeah.
Goes without saying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well,
Yeah, it's impressively stupid, even for Lorne.
I know. Well, it's his thoughts.
He just never understands the assignment.
Yeah.
He just never understands the point of anything he does. He does it wrong. He does it poorly.
Well, you know what's funny too is that this is an assignment that he gave himself.
I know.
And he got it wrong.
You know what's also funny? Another, it repeats. One of the things Lorne does most often is he always makes himself both the victim and the hero
Oh, yeah.
in every story. So here he's the victim of the corrupt prison system and the courts, but he's also the hero because he's going to expose it.
Yes.
He's going to show the world. And he's the hero in jail there because he tries to break up the fights when people are fighting over the TV, and he knows that racism is bad.
Yeah. And people
So
don't want to fight with him either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's better than all those guys. And maybe if they spend more time around him instead of Eric, then they'll be better off.
And it sounds like they were starting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So maybe we're gonna get to the part next time where they get really close.
Mm-hmm. And he sleeps in Aaron's bed because he misses him. Maybe Aaron will get out.
Uh-huh.
And Lorne will miss him so much he'll sleep down in his bunk.
And he'll cry.
And he'll cry.
Yeah.
And then the next morning the CO will come in and say, "Time to wake up, lazy bones. You need some more time to sleep in. You had a hard day. I know you miss your friend. You were so close."
Maybe that's where he got his inspo for that part.
Really?
Yeah.
His love for Aaron. They were so close, just like Aaron and Paul were in the book.
Yeah.
Best friends forever.
Yeah. So it was like Aaron died.
Mm-hmm. When he left, yeah.
Yeah, when he left.
Yeah, and Lorne got PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept seeing Aaron everywhere he'd go. He'd go down to the chow hall, as they call it. He'd get his tray of food. "What's Aaron doing there?" "Oh, I think I'm hallucinating." And he had intense therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, he lost it in the jail.
He lost it in the jail. That should be the name of the book.
And what made him lose it was that when he went to go get his food, he saw that they had Aaron's favorite cake.
Oh,
For
yeah.
dessert. And that made him just, he buckled.
Just lose it.
He
He
lost
started
it.
crying.
Mhm.
And he started killing people in the jail, and they all felt bad for him. They were like, "Are you okay?"
Exactly.
I feel really bad for you. You must have gone through something really bad. for you to want to kill me.
I know. I hope you get the help that you need.
I know. Poor guy. I hope you can become the man you used to be again.
Yes, the man that you always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. We have a lot to look forward to in this second part.
I do. I am looking forward to it. So is Cappy.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's all for now. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess that's all for this entry. We're a bit tired.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, God. All right. Well, everyone, until then, take care.